Welcome to the Lummy Sports Show with a new co-host. Hey man, I go through so many co-hosts. Grant Gregory, world famous Grant Gregory. How you doing, Grant?
I'm doing great. Thanks for the introduction.
Man, you just have the talk about your career in sports. Just get everyone run up to it. I believe you were Mr. Indiana, Mr. Ohio, Mr. Pennsylvania.
Not quite, but I did. I played 1 year of football at Indiana University, transferred to USF. That's my connection with Lummy here.
That's
and
right.
4 years at USF, was granted a 6th year of eligibility and transferred to Kansas State. So I was the starting quarterback for a year at Kansas State, but 3 schools, 6 colleges, and this is all before NIL and before the transfer portal. So it was a lot more complex back then.
Actually, let me ask you about. Well, one, I'm curious about you. I mean, you transferred obviously
Twice.
What do you feel, real quick? Because it wasn't in our little quick talk there. Oh, and this is also you said you played the big time Tampa Bay Storms, right?
I played 1 year for the Tampa Bay Storm.
Look at
Yes,
that.
2011, the year after the lockout.
Big time right there. What do you think of the NIL?
I mean, it's great that college kids are getting paid now. It does need to be regulated. I think everybody with a brain saw that was coming at the beginning. That it's just going to be the Wild West, and it still is. I know regulation is coming, and as much as everybody hates to have government or oversight involved, it's sorely needed because it's just going to make a bigger separation between the haves and the have-nots. And I think anybody who was paying attention knew that was going to happen at the beginning.
But what about your feeling? And we'll jump because I don't want to spend too much time because obviously week 0 already went by. There wasn't much of it. Week 1, I mean, your Kansas State went over to Ireland. I believe they won.
No, we lost 24-21 to Iowa State.
Iowa State, and now they did beat North Dakota. A little much of a struggle.
Hangover game for sure.
813-90 Bubba 813-90 BUBBA. What do you? I mean, you know obviously my history of sports of not understanding how you were able to transfer once you are a full-time college athlete back in our day. How do you feel like all these kids that can just jump into a portal and you don't lose your eligibility? Like, do you feel like that's killing the college game?
It's definitely hurting it a little bit, but at the same time, the kids are getting paid so they can leave college with generational money. I just feel like there needs to be, you should get one transfer. And I think that was whoever's paying these college kids, they're at a lot of fault for giving them money without an actual contract. Like, you're going to give a guy hundreds of thousands or even some cases millions of dollars and not have a contract set forth where he can just burn you on that money and get right in the portal. It needs to be some sort of a actual set in stone structure. But you should get one transfer for free, and then after you graduate, you should be able to go again.
Now, Dirt Merchant, $5. Thank you. When you were riding high,
When exactly would that be?
Kansas State. I mean, you started at Kansas State.
Yeah.
I mean, well, listen, I'm not going to say USF. I mean, unfortunately for you had some ups and downs there.
I mean, I was a backup to a very good player. Matt Grothe was a really good football player.
Yeah, but you were in front of Grothe before he was, Grothe. But Grothe obviously was a superstar. When he played, he was able to play. I'm not going to take anything away. Obviously, I can't take anything away from Grothe. I was just saying you back up to Joe Mist.
That's inaccurate, Lummy.
Oh, okay. I thought you were the backup, and then you got hurt.
I was never ahead of Grothe. Grothe won the job basically in fall of 2006 and never looked back.
Yes, eat more coleslaw. Grant Gregory is an alma mater of Josh Freeman in Kansas State. The great Josh Freeman. Grant Gregory actually knows him.
I know Josh well.
That's how I met him.
Josh is a really good dude. Josh is a great guy. He still spends time, has a place here in Tampa. I see him every now and then. And he also goes back to Kansas City. But Josh he's huge into tennis and pickleball now, both.
Is he actually really good?
Josh is a very good tennis player. I don't know if you know I think he's a 4.0, maybe a 4.5.
I have no clue.
He's good. He'll beat, he plays in different tennis ladders, and he actually goes different places to play tournaments.
Nice. But going with the college and kind of what we were talking about, you kind of see it, and this is what frustrates me. What I loved about college football back in the day, I got off the other point because, I mean, we could literally do a whole show just sitting on that.
On NIL? Yeah, we could.
NIL.
Transfers, all that.
It
is what it is. Until they fix it, it's going to be nuts.
Exactly. But it goes into week one. I mean, I like I said, I don't count week 0. I know it does affect the wins and losses, but there's no real big schools going on it. College football is back. Football is back last week. A lot of big things. You could see, let's see here. Florida State, new quarterback. I mean, I got to look up the stat, but how many quarterbacks and how many teams? Like, what I don't like about college football is going into the season now, it feels like you get a new team every year.
You do.
Superstars are coming in and out. And I've always been the one saying, you need a little bit of time to gel. Now, do you feel that way? Like, as a quarterback, you got to kind of gel with your team?
Oh, you absolutely do. A lot of these teams are having complete roster turnover. Like you saw if anybody watched the North Carolina game last night, they had 70 new players. So how many guys from their 2 deep last year in their 2 deep this year? I mean, it's going to be very few. The big teams, Texas, Ohio State, for the large part, they're able to have, if they're having very few players transfer. But
they're getting the transfers in, though.
They're bringing transfers in to fill gaps. But those teams have a better chance of having continuity.
But, like, you got Archie Manning. Like, I know everyone now is kind of shitting on Archie Manning. He's kind of a bust. You know, week 1 going up against Ohio State. When I was watching the game, it looked like Ohio State was throwing so much at him. Yes. And I don't know the talent that, I mean, obviously it's Texas, so they have a lot of talent. And I know that they brought, more players in, but Ohio State had to replace a lot of things in different schemes that Ohio State. When you watch, like, an Archie Manning, what is your opinion?
I thought he was confused, and I think I didn't realize that Ohio State had Matt Patricia as the D coordinator, the old Patriots D coordinator, Lions head coach. But Arch was definitely confused, and he played a decent amount of football last year when Ewers was hurt. So I was actually surprised that he didn't. I was surprised he didn't play better. I know he's playing against one of the best defenses in the country in Ohio State, and I'm also gonna blame Sarkisian a little bit. I think he's one of the best coaches in the country, especially from an offensive standpoint. I thought it was a bad game plan, and I thought he didn't help out Arch much at all.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, do you think was he from what the first half when I watched it? It looked like he was trying to push it downfield too much. Like, was that maybe Manning misreading the defense? Because a couple of his passes, I mean, it looked like he could have easily thrown 3 or 4 interceptions.
He could have. I just didn't think he was comfortable. I thought he was confused. I think Patricia threw a lot of different stuff at him, and he wasn't able to get a good pre-snap read. But I'm down on Arch in one game, but that Texas is one of the top 5 teams in the country. Ohio State's one of the top 5 teams in the country, and it was a 14-7 game. I think as the game progressed, both teams were ultra conservative because it was just such a tight defensive football game that affects the play calling, and both teams are just going to play very, very, very conservative.
So I know it's different now with these bigger schools, Texas playing Ohio State, and it seemed like there were so many ranked teams playing with each other, and normally, like, the colleges, they would start gelling. They would start kind of getting. I know that you have practice, you have spring, and then you have your summer and all this kind of thing, and you're starting to gel. Do you think that they're going to start changing the rules then, maybe with even the playoffs, or they're going to have to do something? Because if you're looking at Alabama and you're looking at Texas, and right now, I mean, Texas in both of them, they play in the SEC, and I think Texas, and I don't know if you agree or not, Texas, I believe, is a lot better than Alabama.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Program's in better shape.
But,
Alabama, Florida State fans are very, very happy. Alabama fans are in shambles right now.
Yeah, but like you look at Texas, and you got Texas coming off that loss against Ohio State, and they always say back in the day, one loss, you're done for the season pretty much.
Totally different now. I mean,
but how many losses can you, especially going in the SEC?
Texas could potentially. They could potentially get in at 9-3. I think that's unlikely, but 10-2 is going to get you in the SEC, especially when you have a high ranking to begin with. Like, look at the teams last year. Like, Ole Miss blew that game against Florida through all the interceptions in the fourth quarter. They were 9, and that would have been their 10th win. They would have been in. Instead, you get SMU,
which was pathetic.
SMU and Indiana both made it.
I mean, Indiana. I think Indiana was.
They deserved it.
They deserved it, but I think they were they weren't complete yet.
Correct, they weren't. And Notre Dame, after years and years and years last year of being a very overrated team, I think Notre Dame was very good last year. Like, they've got NFL players all over the field, and Notre Dame was deserving of that ranking last year, and that they got to the national title. So Notre Dame's finally a really good program that's not overrated, in my opinion.
Now, do you take that apart of getting rid of Brian Kelly? Well, Brian Kelly, I guess, left, who I'm not a fan of at all.
Yep.
I mean, I think he's kind of a joke. You find him as a good coach.
I think he's a good coach. When I was at USF, he was at Cincinnati, and even before that, I was at Indiana. We played Central Michigan when he was there, and he's a good coach. He's a very good coach. I can easily see why he gets the hate he does because of various things, but
what are the various things that he does? Because we've heard stories, and I know Bubba's a fan of Notre Dame, and he brings up the stories that Notre Dame just absolutely did not like Brian Kelly.
Really?
Yeah, they were happy when he left, and I mean, just the different things of his fake accent.
The fake accent didn't come until he went to LSU.
No, I'm saying like him coming in LSU now. You heard all these different stories when he was over at Notre Dame, and then he comes in with a fake accent at LSU. And he does like all those different NIL things and all those videos, and he just kind of looks really,
yeah, it's very cringy.
Yes,
it's very cringy,
exactly.
And yeah, Brian Kelly. I've seen some of those videos. It doesn't look good. It doesn't really fit like his personality. It looks fake, but that's what recruits want. Apparently, they want to come in there and have their Instagram followers, and pictures, and all that.
Who was the coach? Oh fuck, what was his name? The fat guy, Kansas.
Oh.
Mangino?
Charlie Weiss. They had back-to-back massive coaches.
Yeah, well,
Mangino is a legend.
Could you see a guy like Mangino coaching in the league these days in NCAA?
A guy like him in terms of physical stature?
Well, like, he didn't have that flash. Like you're saying, the flash. Like they need the Brian Kellys, and they need all these different coaches.
Mangino had style. You see the stuff he wore. Mangino wore silk shirts. Mangino wore amazing jackets.
Didn't you say he tried to recruit you, and he had a pizza stain on his shirt?
Yes,
or some shit like that.
No. So Ralph Friedgen, the two big Ralph. Ralph was at Maryland, and after a game, Ralph was an offensive guy. They beat North Carolina. You can look back in 2003. Beat them. I want to say they scored 59 or 62 points. He was in great mood after that, obviously, and there were maybe 10 of us, 12 of us recruits that were actually legit recruits. We're going to see him in his office after the game, and when I happened to be in there for my quick little visit, his secretary brought in literally one of those platters with and pulled it off him. And now when I saw Mangino had in his office in the summer, he did have food stains all over his shirt when I got to meet him and talk to him personally.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, because you look nowadays with the NIL and the different recruiting. I mean, I can't imagine. Obviously Dion. I think he's doing a good job, even though he did lose his first game. I think that they'll bounce back.
It was a big year for Dion, and he's polarizing. Obviously, his style is going to get a lot of hate. I like him. We always had him here at USF. You guys documented that well.
Yeah.
I think we did great getting Golesh, but. Dion, this is a huge year for him. You don't have your son. You don't have the Heisman winner from last year. How is your program now? And I think they played a solid Georgia Tech team. It was a good game. Georgia Tech was definitely the better team, but Colorado, the Big 12, I follow the Big 12 obviously because K-State. Big 12 is very mediocre. I still think a solid season for Dion this year. If they win 6 games, get to a bowl game, I think he'll have another good recruiting season.
So, I mean, I think Georgia Tech is actually better than a lot of people are predicting. I think last year they had some up and down. They played some big games.
They blew that Georgia game last game of the year, and then they lost to Vandy in the bowl game. But Georgia Tech, he's been there for now. I think this is his 4th full year, and Brent Key is he's a former offensive line coach, so you know the type of program they're going to be. They're going to be physical. They've got a quarterback who runs like crazy.
I think he had 150. He had 150 plus yards.
He's a track star. Look up his background. He's a track star. He's long and lean, but man, when he gets out in the open field, he can really run. He can outrun angles.
Or is Georgia? I did not see that game. Is Georgia Tech still running the triple wing T?
No,
Or
no. That was Paul Johnson. That was Paul Johnson.
Well, I mean,
He's been
listen,
gone for a few years.
I know, but it seems like Georgia Tech for
Paul Johnson was there for I think 12 or 13 years.
Well, but even in the 80s, I feel like Georgia Tech was running the triple T.
A lot of teams ran it in the 80s, but I mean, for a long time they had George O'Leary, who ended up at UCF. But George O'Leary was their coach. Joe Hamilton at quarterback, solid running quarterback. But yeah, they had Paul Johnson for a long time.
Yeah, Joe Hamilton, a former Buccaneer, was drafted. Unsigned, I think 6th-round pick for the Buccaneers. I thought he was going to be a superstar. Never panned out with the Buccaneers.
He ended up playing a lot of arena football, actually.
Oh, did he?
He did.
Oh, there you go. I mean, speaking of, we talked about Dion in Colorado having a hiccup. I think they're going to pull it back. I believe they play Kent State this week.
They don't play Kent.
Or it's Delaware.
They play Delaware, who's a first-year FBS program. Delaware just moved up. Delaware, been a FCS powerhouse for a long time. First year, they're going to go play it in the altitude at Colorado, and Colorado needs to run that quarterback more. Caden Salter, transfer from Liberty, he's an exceptional athlete. He's an exceptional athlete. They didn't do many design runs. That's not Dion, obviously. That's the offensive coordinator, but they need to use his athleticism. He's got a great arm. Played a lot of football. He was a 3-year starter at Liberty. Now he transferred over. Use his skill set. His skill set is he needs 10 to 15 designed runs a game.
Is he similar to Malik Willis kind of player who played at Liberty too?
Yeah, he is. Malik Willis was an incredible athlete, transferred from Auburn to Liberty, put up great numbers, electric athlete. Caden Salter is also a great athlete.
Speaking of great athletes, which he was hurt all of last year and going from Colorado to USF. I went to that game.
As did I.
As a season ticket holder. Do you get free tickets over there? Or did they stop that?
My wife and I, we did. My wife was a cheerleader, so she was also a varsity athlete, so we pay a small amount and we get 2 tickets for her, 2 tickets for me for every game.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So their team looked. I mean, it started a little slow. Offensive play calling looked a little weak.
That's happened several times in Golesh's 2 years, but I am a huge Golesh fan.
So am I.
Huge Golesh. But that happens a lot where you get off to a slow start, you have a couple 3 and outs, and by the first quarter's over, you haven't gotten a first down, and the game just kind of looks like it's holy smokes, this is getting away from us. But Golesh, he's very measured, and he finds a way to move the ball in every game. But I thought USF, I'll talk USF because this is the best their bodies have looked.
The Golesh I liked about Golesh is he is not scared to go for it on fourth down.
Golesh has balls.
And that changed the whole game.
Golesh has balls. He is who he is. I love him. But like I was saying, USF's bodies looked bigger, they looked thicker, they looked longer, and they looked faster. They looked all. And he talked about it. If you look at the interviews from before the game, he said he's been here 2.5 years now, and this is the first time he's had, okay, this is our team, this is our identity. I feel good about our program. And I think we're going to find out a lot about how talent is over the next 2 weeks with Florida and Miami, but USF is in good hands. I hope we can keep Golesh here for a while.
No, and that's the whole thing is that usually, especially back in the day, especially before, and I keep saying back in the day, but before the transfers and the transfer portals and the NILs, is that usually you gave a coach about 2-3 years and get their system in place, get the players they want, get the bodies that they want, because he runs that. I mean, you got to think his offense is a no-huddle offense.
Yeah.
And it's going to take time to get all the offensive linemen, where you got to get the defense. I mean, people always think, it's no huddle offense, is that, it's just the offense. It's defense, too, because the defense is not going to be on the sidelines as long. Because, I mean, if you're looking at it, the offense can do quick 3 and out.
When you're running that up-tempo, fast-paced offense, you are putting your defense at a disadvantage. And for years and years and years, people are always like, oh, we're so good on offense, but why can't we be good on defense? It's like, well, your offense isn't helping your defense.
Exactly. They need a little time to breathe, too.
Yeah, and their defense, their corners played awesome all game. I thought they did a good job holding up against the run. Even without Genty, Boise State's a physical team. They always have good running backs. I think they put about 4 running backs in a row in the NFL. They're a physical team. They're a good team, and USF beat the dog out of them.
I mean, Byron Brown looked like just a different player.
Byron Brown, a different player. 2 years ago, he was exceptional, and he got hurt last year.
But but I'm saying 2 years ago, he was more. I feel like he was more physical.
Oh, Byron Brown. First time I saw him was that Tulsa game 3 years ago. It was a season he still redshirted that year because it was at the end of the year and he played. And he was a 6'2.5", 6'3", probably a 190 thin kid. And then he was about that size the next year in 2023, and they're playing, and he's tough as it gets because they're playing in the first few games. He's taking a lot of hits. He's running the ball a lot. And I said, there's no way he makes it through this season healthy. And not only did he make it through the season healthy, in 2023, I think he had, I want to say, 3,600 total yards of offense and 35 touchdowns. It was like 26 touchdowns in the air and another 9 or 10 rushing. And he made it through the whole year. And that was at a $190 and a $195. Last year he came back and he looked like he put on that 25 or 30 pounds. And this year he broke his leg last year. So, but this year he looked even thicker, and you saw the guys try to tackle him. The most impressive play of the game was the one that got called back. I mean, that was he broke about 6 tackles.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I liked about the Byron Brown was that it was a late hit on, I think, with the cornerback, number 4.
And
then
that's
the next play, it was almost like he went and targeted him and just ran him over. Just dropped his shoulder and ran him over, and then I think picked up another like 10 or 15 yards.
He did.
It was an amazing. USF looked like it was a different gear. And, I mean, they came out. USF is obviously our local team. Grant played there.
Yep.
And they have the hardest schedule in the nation. The first 3 games. The first 3 games. They got they had Boise State at the time was ranked number 25. Now they go to Florida, and then after that to Miami. Speaking of going to Florida played Long Island
Sharks.
Now, are you familiar with Long Island University?
They're a pretty new FCS team. They haven't had football for very long. I do not know much about them. I know a lot about different teams, and that Long Island University has not had football for very long.
It doesn't sound like an impressive school.
It's a money game.
Well, of course.
I mean, they're paying probably $1 million for Long Island to come down here and get their butt whooped, and Long Island gets to fund their athletic program. And all Long Island's kids get to play in front of 90,000 people at the Swamp. So it's a win-win for everybody, except if you're LIU, you get your butt whooped. You hope you don't have too many injuries in a game like that.
But I see now, me as a gambler, a gambling man, what I'm looking at that, tell me kind of behind the scenes what you're thinking, because I mean, you see Florida coming off against a Powder Puff. They win 55-0. It's really just a scrimmage against dog shit.
Yes.
USF's coming off high as a kite, coming off beating Boise State. Everyone was, USF's back. It's the best they've looked. Everyone's feeling so good. What's the mentality going into that? Now they're going to be going into the Swamp. Everyone's saying, UF is, listen,
UF's talented. UF's got a lot of talent. This is a huge year for Napier. Everybody's high on Florida right now, and as a USF fan, let's get Napier back on the hot seat. If USF can come in there and win this game, and even just play well and make it a competitive game for a while, those fans will turn on Napier. They will love to turn on Napier.
But what I mean, like right now, you think UF cannot be kind of geared up for we're gonna play USF.
They know they have Tennessee next week, but obviously the performance. So
could this be a game that's a trap game for Florida?
Everyone's gonna say that USF beating the dog shit out of Boise like that's definitely gonna get their attention, and also
but UF playing Tennessee
the next week.
And obviously them coming off a dog shit game, and this is kind of like, okay, it's, the USF. We have enough talent. We have the depth. We know USF probably can't last through the first half.
I mean, USF played at Florida. That was actually probably the best game that Jeff Scott ever coached against while he was at USF. USF lost to Florida by 3 in a game where we dropped a snap trying to tie the game at the end. And that was in the Swamp 3 years ago. Florida teams, these kids all know each other. There's you're not sneaking up on Florida, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. So there's not really going to be a trap game. Florida's going to be prepared, and I mean that really actually probably goes into the coaching then, keeping them up.
Oh, Florida's glad that USF beat Boise that bad. If it was the other way around, Florida would have been disappointed because you would have seen a potential overlook, but you're not seeing an overlook anymore.
I think in my bet, you think what are your percent? I was going to say I'm probably going to put a little bet down on USF probably showing up in the first half, but what's their chances on the second half? Like USF, I mean, do you think if they're sticking with, because it was almost like 2 years ago when it was USF versus Alabama, Remember that first half? They were third quarter. They were to the third quarter, right? They were giving Nick Saban a scare.
In Tuscaloosa. The game here was a little different.
Yeah.
The game here, because it was a torrential downpour and all that. But
yeah,
the game and Jalen Milroe got benched that game beforehand, and they didn't play him. I don't know what transpired before that, but it was like they're not going to play him regardless. They played the other two scrubs that were in front, and those guys played awful, and USF stayed in the game for a long time. But then the next year in Tuscaloosa, USF, I believe, was a 14-13 game in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
And
they couldn't last, obviously.
Yeah, the depth is an issue. It always is. These schools like Florida are able to pay their backups what USF starters are making. So that's how these teams are building their rosters. Is they've got GMs just like an NFL team, and they're able to poach kids. Like you might see these guys at Florida. They might have 3 of their backup linemen were starters at other schools, at Marshall, at Georgia Southern, at things like that, and they came in for 1 year as a backup to make more money.
That makes sense. Yeah, USF has that now, and with their NIL guy that just sits there and studies. But that's one thing is, and then that's another thing that disappoints me in the college football realm, and I think it disappoints a lot of people that love college and that pureness, because like Byron Brown right now, I've talked to many people at USF and we're like, he's gone next year. We can't afford him. Tennessee will scoop him up. Tennessee was recruiting him before, and most likely Tennessee will scoop him up and he'll be gone.
So Kansas State, we dealt with that too. Our quarterback Avery Johnson, when the whole Nico Iamaleava situation, when that happened, there were all these schools. I think it was TCU, and Kansas State's quarterbacks. I think were the first choices of Tennessee. They ended up getting Joey Aguilar, who ended up being basically a trade because he was at UCLA, but he transferred from Appalachian State. But I talked with one of my friends about this the other day. Somebody like Byron Brown, you're probably not going to be $1 million guy if you go up. You're going to go somewhere and you're going to have to compete. I want to say the market for someone like Byron Brown, he makes good money at USF, and he could have made more to go to maybe not off the injury like he had last year.
Yeah, but
he could get like Auburn. Auburn brought in Jackson Arnold from Oklahoma, and they brought in the Stanford starting quarterback. So both of those guys were in there. That's probably the situation you're going to get. Maybe you get $500,000, $600,000 to come in, but you're going to be competing with somebody else. At USF, you're the man. And
yeah, but that's what you feel like. Like, look at Cam Ward. He was the man at
Incarnate Word, yes. Washington State, and Miami, yeah.
And then obviously he goes to Miami. Do you think he's a first-round pick if he stays at Washington?
At Washington State? I did not think so. The year at Miami did him huge. I know he thought about leaving, and I want to say people gave him – there were some scouts had him as a potential first-round pick, but going to Miami, he became pretty much a unanimous number one.
Sticking with USF real quick, too. I know Eat More Coastlaw is a USF fan. Do you think USF how much can they compete with the bigger schools in NIL?
USF is, so I have some good
we're not gonna be a Marshall fucking bullshit like that, are we?
USF is one of the highest paid group of fives. You've got USF, you got Memphis, who has the FedEx, who just passed away. What's his name? Fred Smith. He funded their whole athletic program. Memphis is trying hard to get in the Big 12, and everybody's trying hard to get up to that next expansion, whether it's ACC or ACC or Big 12. Obviously, the SEC and the Big 10 are the top dogs, but when they expand again, it's going to be a ripple effect, and USF wants to be like UCF was a couple years ago and get into the Big 12.
No, they've talked about FSU going up to SEC. Do you see USF taking FSU's position?
If they're in,
but see, does that make the fucking ACC almost obsolete again? Is there going to be multiple tiers of college teams?
There already is.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, realistically, is it going to be just the Big 10 and SEC, and it's almost going to be Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, or Division 1, Division 1 AA? It's not going to be that. But
you look how the playoff is structured right now. The Big 10 and the SEC are fighting to try to get more teams equals more money. If they have a 12-team playoff now, and if they go to some of the big schools are wanting 20 or 24, and they want 4 or 5 automatic bids. So automatic bids equal like a power structure. So you'd have 5 bids for the SEC, 5 bids for the Big Ten, and then I think 2 for the Big 12 and 2 for the ACC, and then the group of 5. That's all it's focused on is who gets the automatic bids, and that's your power structure.
So when do they start that playoff then?
They're already talking about it.
No, but like when would they start? Like month wise, like November, Thanksgiving, like just.
I've heard if they go up to 24, they're just going to eliminate the conference championship games and play it like that. Try to have the end date be the same.
See, they get rid of that purist, man. That's what I can't stand.
I love the conference championships are awesome.
I
But we go back to the topic we were talking about was USF NIL. USF is paying as well as anybody that's not in the power conferences. So, and I know that Will Weatherford, who is, I believe he's basically the de facto president right now. He is giving them what they need to win. Oh. He's fun. The program is in very good shape. The stadium's on the way. The facilities on campus are already pretty good. They're paying their assistants well. They're paying the head coach well, and they're paying their players well.
So what's your prediction then on this week's game, USF Florida?
I'm not picking against. I rarely pick against any of my schools.
Yeah, but I mean, like, look, I'm thinking it's going to be. Here, I'll give you my prediction: 31-24 USF.
I would love to see that. I think they are going to have to score 30 to win this game. The defense played great last week, but they're going to be dealing with a different level of receivers at Florida. Florida's going to have a much better team overall, better speed at receiver as well as a more powerful offensive line. That's generally what you see with the big schools playing against the group of 5 schools is that you can run the ball at will. You can just run the ball and lean on the people and get 4 or 5 yards, keep yourself in a second and manageable.
So if you're the Florida coach, your Florida offense coordinator, are you pretty much going to try to establish the run early on against Florida USF?
Yeah, you want to establish the run. You don't want to put everything on your quarterback. Lagway's still young. I know he's a 5-star. He's incredibly talented. In a couple years, he'll be a very high pick if he keeps progressing, but you don't want to put everything on him early, especially from a defense that Todd Orlando will blitz the hell out of you. And we've seen that against Alabama 2 years ago. I want to say USF had about 7 sacks in that game, and I still have no idea what the O-line was doing for Bama, but USF was coming at him from every angle possible. And
I feel like USF at that point had a little more like Alabama had obviously just monsters at the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like
USF was blitzing smaller guys off the edge.
Exactly. And they couldn't keep up with the speed. And then, the quarterback was stepping up and different things like that. And I feel like that worked it. And then obviously, you can only do that for so long before.
Well, we're going back in a full year. But yeah. I also think that a lot of what made Jalen Milroe special in college was his running ability. And it was almost like he didn't want to run in that game because he didn't think he needed to. And as a straight-up drop-back passer, he's nothing special. He's an unbelievable athlete, and when you take away the X factor of him running the ball, he was a very mediocre SEC quarterback. But it was like they had no game plan for him to actually run the ball in that game until late in the fourth quarter.
Then they pretty much almost had to.
Yeah, and I think a lot of teams do that. I saw that a lot this weekend. I think South Carolina, we go to that South Carolina-Virginia Tech game. Those are 2 very athletic quarterbacks, and I think South Carolina's guy is Sellers is what Florida fans wanted Anthony Richardson to be. Sellers is a stud, and he's running the ball enough that they're gonna. It still plays to his strengths. Virginia Tech, Kieran Drones is also a very good quarterback. 2 years ago, I think he rushed for almost 1,000 yards, and it's like they're trying to put a square peg into a round hole now and make him a pocket passer. You still have to let him, especially in the games where you are evenly matched or South Carolina has more talent than Virginia Tech. You've got to run that quarterback. You got to get 50 or 60 yards from him on the ground. He's got to get 5 or 6 first downs for you.
Yeah, but you don't think that maybe with he's looking at himself, Drones, because I'm looking at his stats last year, and he had 1,562 yards
he was
throwing.
Hurt. He was hurt last year.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying so if you look at his stats throwing, and now to make it in the NFL, you got to be total package, not just running the ball.
Yeah,
you don't think that he was sitting there going, okay, obviously I'm athletic enough, I can run the ball. Now I have to prove that I can be that quarterback until he's almost, especially the money that they're making, and they're pretty much can tell the coach to go fuck themselves. They're saying look, I need to be I want to work on my pocket presence.
100%. I don't know that guy personally at all, but 2 years ago 2023, 17 touchdowns, 3 picks, really good numbers, and 818 yards rushing with 5 touchdowns. He's got 2 more years as a starter. He knows to get to the next level, you got to be a drop back passer. So a lot of that's going to be, how do we make you a better pro prospect? But at the same time, like, your job is to try to win the ACC if you're the quarterback at Virginia Tech, and that should be the primary focus. Be better at a passer, but maintain that running ability.
It's going to be tough for Virginia Tech, man. Blacksburg is just...
Well, they were a key... I mean, they were a huge... Last year in 2024, they were a very popular pick based on the way Drones finished the 2023 season. They were a very popular pick last year. They dealt with injuries, and he didn't play as well, and they just were not as good. I think they went 6-6.
Now, speaking of... Actually, you know what? I just looked at... I pulled up ESPN. I was looking at the stats, and I go to Miami and Notre Dame. And
2 good teams. 2 very good teams.
2 really good teams. And I think, you look at Miami, and, Miami... They always have that potential. I feel like they're always right there. And, I mean, what's your feeling on Miami?
So I think Mario Cristobal is a very good CEO of a team.
Yes.
He mismanages games. And I think anybody who's a Miami fan will tell you that he mismanages games. He's cost them games based on bad clock management. We don't have to rehash the Georgia Tech game a couple years ago, but it's just bad. But they put together a really good roster for years and years and years. When Jimmy Johnson won a national title, all the way up to who's their most recent national title? Larry Coker?
Larry Coker was
the last national title. They did not pay their coaches well. They did not have good facilities, but they still had amazing players. They now have great facilities. They're building. They pay their coaches well. They're paying their players well. They're paying their assistants well. So they've got everything that they needed, and they went out and got Carson Beck in the portal, who, say what you want, he was a $3 million player.
Well, what's your feeling on Carson Beck?
2 years
because,
ago,
I mean, come on.
2 years ago, I thought he might be the number 1 pick after last year. Last year, he regressed. Last year, Georgia had bad offensive line play. They had terrible receivers for Georgia. And it's an easy to scapegoat a quarterback, and Carson Beck's an easy guy to dislike based on a lot of different things on social media. But Carson Beck can throw the football. He's got a cannon. He can process. He's got the potential. He did not play well last year. I thought he looked pretty solid for Miami. I mean, his numbers are solid. They're not great. They didn't ask him to win the game.
But you must want that. I mean, because you look back when Miami was great. And I mean, obviously they didn't really pan out, when we're looking at back in the day, and football has definitely changed. But, look at the Ken Dorseys, and, obviously
Ken Dorsey was a weak link on that team.
Exactly. But he had great stats because everyone else was great.
They were incredible.
But he was almost, fine. You could even say for a Buccaneer, he was the Brad Johnson of that era.
Yeah.
Brad Johnson was put out there, great quarter. I mean, I think Brad Johnson was a good quarterback.
Brad Johnson was underrated.
Exactly.
He was underrated.
But he was able to manage it. He was someone that could manage the game. But Carson Beck, you look at it and go, why didn't Georgia want to keep him? That's what everyone says. Like, Georgia didn't want to keep him.
I don't think they wanted to pay him $3 million.
But does that mean he's not good enough? In your opinion, does that mean he's not good enough?
It means they're confident enough in what they have behind him. Gunnar Stockton. If you're going to Georgia, if you're a quarterback at Georgia, you are a highly recruited kid. And Gunnar Stockton was the man in high school. Every one of these quarterbacks that get scholarships to those places are. But they did let him go. I don't think they tried hard to keep him.
No, they didn't. They said that they could move on.
I mean, when you look at it's a salary cap issue. I mean, he's going to go make $3 million elsewhere. I don't think they want to pay more than $800,000 for a quarterback.
Well, that's insane, especially nowadays, especially in the SEC.
When you're Georgia and you're one of the top 5 programs in the country. So yeah, they let him walk, and it does make you feel like, okay, why are they letting him walk?
Is that a personality issue?
I mean, he won you an SEC championship 2 years ago, right?
So wouldn't you want to keep that guy around?
Normally.
I mean, would you want to really care what he... I mean, I like you said on social media, and I guess there's, a lot of girls coming out and different things like that, and he seems like he seems like more of a headache. He seems like he's not... I haven't done too much research on Carson Beck, but I mean, is he a good locker room guy?
I have no idea. You have to ask the guys in the locker room. I mean, you're part of the media. The media can paint any picture they want.
Exactly. I mean, we can just say that Carson Beck's a horrible locker room guy, and that's what it seems like everyone says, and that's why Georgia didn't want him back. And Kirby.
That was what his ex-girlfriend said, right? His ex-girlfriend said his teammates don't like him, but it's like that's a
but you can't. Ex. Yeah, listen. I was gonna say you can't really believe what the exes are saying.
Correct.
I mean, the exes can say whatever they want.
Go back to that game. Miami is a legit
Oh no, I mean that was
Miami and Clemson. Miami and Clemson are the favorites in the ACC, no doubt. And now Florida State jumped right into that mix. Florida State looked awesome. So you have three teams that have. We expected Florida State. Nobody expected their drop off last year, but Florida State now put them at the top of the ACC with Clemson and Miami. We know those teams have the talent. Notre Dame, I thought, looked pretty good. I mean, freshman quarterback, first start, C.J. Carr, Lloyd Carr's grandson, right? He played well. I mean, he played well. He was not the reason they lost the game. I also thought you have those running backs right there. Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price are great players, and 16 carries combined. That's not enough. That's just not enough. I didn't think they got Love involved in the game early enough. Did they have some receptions?
Yeah, they had the Love and Price. Yeah,
you
just
have 4 catches for
yeah.
Love. So you got 20 combined touches for your 2 stud running backs. That's not enough.
Two fumbles between both of them. One lost by Fields, but I mean,
Price didn't lose a fumble though. And Love didn't fumble, but that's not enough. Like Miami's running backs, you got 30 carries for Fletcher and Brown. Brown, I liked. Brown was a North Dakota State transfer. I think he had 1,400 yards at North Dakota State last year. Watching him in the FCS playoffs, that guy was a freshman, and Miami scooped him up quick.
What's your prediction on the ACC? Who makes the championship?
Clemson and Miami are the 2 best teams. Again, I feel kind of embarrassed because I don't know how the championship game works there anymore. I don't think there's divisions. I think it's just the 2 best teams.
I thought it was the divisions.
I don't think so anymore. I think it's just the 2 best teams. I think they went away from that. We can look it up real quick.
Let's see.
Go to standings. Go to standings.
I know. I clicked on the wrong thing.
The ACC. Go down. Just go down.
Well, it's A.
It's alphabetical.
Yeah, I know. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks,
so
Scout.
it's just one.
Oh shit! So it is the 2 best teams.
I think it's just the 2 best teams. So
so you don't think Florida State makes it out of there?
Oh, they have a great chance now. You have 3 teams that are more talented than everybody else: Miami, Florida State, and Clemson. So those 3 teams, it's going to matter. Scheduling is going to matter, and obviously SMU is a trendy pick. How good is SMU? I think they have an interesting game this week. I think it's at Baylor this week. Nice little Texas in-state rivalry.
Yeah, and then they got another cupcake against Missouri State.
Missouri State, another team that just made the jump up to FBS.
They did?
Oh, they're playing at Missouri State.
Yeah.
They're going to Plaster Stadium in Springfield, Missouri. All right.
Listen, man, can you imagine if the NIL was available back in the SMU days? We probably would only be talking about SMU and UM.
Well, so, all right, we're going back.
I know.
Well, no, that's fine. Bryce Underwood, Michigan quarterback, had a really good debut. He was the man last year. He was committed to LSU, and Dave Portnoy made a big stink. Why is this 5-star player in Michigan, this quarterback? Michigan, we have no quarterbacks right now. How are we letting this kid go? All of a sudden, the kid flips and he commits to Michigan, and everyone thinks it was Portnoy that paid him all the money. I think he got an $8 million deal.
No, that was the
Oracle CEO.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it was the Oracle CEO's wife is a Michigan grad. But
I thought there was another one too.
It was Larry Ellison's wife. I mean, when you're talking about what's Larry Ellison's net worth, he's $100 billion plus, right? He's one of the richest people in the world. You could literally, when you're talking about a guy like that, who, if somebody gets involved, who's a $100 billionaire or $10 billionaire, whatever the numbers are, this is a drop in the bucket. Hundreds of millions is a drop in the bucket, and that's. Like, you've got to have a salary cap. You've got to have some sort of regulation. Otherwise, that guy could control he can control all of college football if he really wanted to.
Exactly. I mean, Michigan could be good. But that's what they were doing back in the 80s. I mean, if you think about SMU, was just getting the recruits out of their mind.
Yeah. I mean, everybody, Eric Dickerson, all that. It was well documented. I mean, they got the death penalty for it. But.
Exactly. Which nowadays it wouldn't really happen that way.
Nowadays, you just pay your bribery fine and then you move on to the NCAA or whatever it is.
I forgot who I was talking to. I was talking to him over the weekend. I was like, look, if SMU in the 80s wouldn't have got the death penalty, all that oil money just would have stayed right at SMU, and that would have probably went out to Texas Tech. I mean, they probably all would have been, obviously they all still had money at the time.
Well, now Texas Tech, you've heard about that guy, right?
No, what?
Texas Tech. So his name is Cody Campbell. He's about my age. I'm 39. Cody Campbell played at Texas Tech for Mike Leach, and Texas Tech, I think he played 1 year on the Colts practice squad, but he ended up getting into the oil business, and he just sold his oil business for $6 billion, billion with a B.
Oh,
and now
geez.
He is funding their entire NIL, and he went to their AD after last year and said, "What do we need? I will fund it all. We only have a limited amount of time until this gets regulated." And they went out and spent $20 million in the portal, and they got about 5 of the top 15 players. And Texas Tech's a trendy pick to. Let me look at that schedule. They're not.
Well, I was going to say their first game. I mean,
Kent State's the worst FBS team there is.
Oh, well, they've lost what? 13 in a row. 14?
They won. They won the other
Did they
day.
win?
They beat an FCS team.
The Golden Flashes?
They did. Dick Stadium. DeRealis Clark had a game-winning touchdown. Yes, his name's DeRealis Clark.
Let me ask him, how many? This is one thing that Grant's good at. How many? What's the attendance at Kent State?
The attendance is going to be. The attendance is about 5,000.
Yeah, what does it fit?
The stadium is just over 20.
Okay.
When I was there, they didn't even. I've been to a lot of stadiums because my father coached, but Kent State didn't even have Dick's Stadium, DIX, didn't even have an away side, and now it's like a high school away side. It's just steel bleachers, but Dick's Stadium.
So you're saying Texas Tech is going to be a real big player?
Texas Tech is a player right now. Yes, and they just recruited. Actually,
this schedule is horrible.
Utah is going to be solid. Arizona State, Kansas State.
They should be able to roll over Oregon State.
Oregon State had a good looking. No. Oregon State got beat by. Oregon State lost the other day.
I mean, they're going to be this
at
first
Utah's
year.
Tough. You got to go into Rice-Eccles.
Yeah, but they're going to be an average Big 12 team. Let's just be honest.
Utah had a down year last year, which was an aberration. Kyle Whittingham's a really good coach, and they're going to be back. They got a quarterback transfer from New Mexico who's a dual threat, exceptional athlete. Utah's bad year last year that's not going to stay. They're going to be a contender this year.
Interesting about all the money that Texas Tech's going that way.
Yeah.
Interesting.
West Texas, that's the biggest ass whooping I've ever got in my life was playing at Texas Tech. We lost 66 to...
I watched that game.
So I got benched.
Wow, fuck, what was his name? Sue. Right?
No. Well, I mean, come on, man. Sue played at Nebraska.
I know, but I'm saying, didn't Sue kick your ass too?
They beat us. I'm very thankful that Ndamukong Suh wasn't angry at me and didn't do anything. Like, he didn't land on top of me. So he tackled me. He got a sack on me. He hit me and almost knocked me into the goalpost when we were pinning our own end zone. But
no, he
nothing dirty.
Well,
he just got some good shots on me. He's the strongest human I've ever played.
See, I always thought, I remember watching because that was the year Huners and Daryl and I came up. And,
yeah.
But like Texas Tech, you were getting your ass kicked.
At Texas Tech, I got benched. I took 2 bad sacks early in the game, and I got benched. And we got. I'm talking about from a standpoint of we got our ass kicked. We lost like 66 to. I always
thought you got your. Maybe I just.
Nebraska beat us 17-3. We outgained them.
Yeah, that was in the Big 12 championship.
It was no. It was a de facto Big 12 North championship. If we beat them in that game, we would have won the Big 12 North. But they beat us 17-3. We moved the ball very well. We fumbled at the 1-yard line, missed a field goal. We lost 17-3 to the best defense in the country, and Sue was the best player. Sue should have won the Heisman that year. Mark Ingram's good player. Probably the worst Heisman winner of all time.
Who?
Mark Ingram. That season, look at his numbers.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I mean, that was when Alabama just ran off of multiple. I mean, they still were. I mean, up to like last year, 2 years ago, they were just running off. You went to Alabama, you were winning Heisman almost.
Yeah, and I like Mark Ingram, but just that year, his numbers were pretty mediocre to win the Heisman.
Yeah, but listen, no defensive lineman is ever going to win the Heisman.
He should have. He was the best player in the country.
But can you imagine a defensive lineman ever win? The press, the people that vote for the Heisman would never allow that.
He got a lot of votes. I think he finished 3rd.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it will never get over that hump. That was like a sympathy vote almost for them. Do you ever in your lifetime, and you're a healthy person, will ever see a
D lineman win the you'd have to get somebody have like 35 sacks.
Someone just like Lawrence Taylor on fucking steroids and coke and everything, just going through and ripping everyone's head off.
Derek Thomas, somebody like that would have to have 30 sacks in a college game, and then maybe they win the Heisman. You get a couple strip sacks, forced fumbles,
touchdowns. I mean, so it's almost impossible.
Yeah, Sue was the most dominant player, and he didn't win it, so we'd have to see something like that.
Well, yeah, probably never see it.
But for the most part, you can scheme a way to get. I mean, we played against Von Miller, and you can scheme a defensive end kind of out of the game if you can run the ball. So we played against a lot of great players, and to let a defensive lineman have that many sacks and just destroy a game, it's hard because you have to get a lead and you have to force the team to just pass so they can pin their ears back. But anyway, we're going to talk LSU.
What about LSU?
Do they have a defense now?
What about LSU?
I think LSU has a defense now, and for the first time,
I hate LSU.
Your boy Stein went to LSU.
I know.
My boy Stein. I love Stein too.
Yeah, Stein. Your first roommate.
He was my first roommate at USF for about 6 months. The man is what you see is exactly who he was. It's funny because that's not fake. Stein, yeah, he does a lot of fake stuff, but that man can talk like nobody's business.
Yeah, listen, I remember, when we would hang out a lot when you moved into the apartment across the street, and you'd be like, man, I got this guy. He's trying to be an actor. He went to Hollywood or some shit like that. I think when he came back to visit you one time, he was like in a suit and tie. He's just that guy.
Yeah, he's just I went to visit him in Dallas. I saw Highland Park High School, the Scots. I saw where Clayton Kershaw played, where Matthew Stafford played.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's buddies with him. Or
yeah,
buddies, whatever. He took a picture with him. He played high school.
He was a captain on the Highland Park team.
Really?
He was.
Well, that's a very impressive. I mean, why? I mean, do you think LSU? I think Lee Corso picked LSU
Lee Corso
to win.
was perfect. He was perfect.
Yeah, and I think he picked him to win the championship. I think he picked him to win the national championship this year. I believe so.
They've got a great quarterback. You watch Nussmeier throw; it's beautiful. You know LSU always have receivers. They always have receivers.
Always.
And they now have, it appears, a defense because we know Clemson's a very good team. Dabo's a really good coach, and they have an experienced quarterback. Clemson still really good, and you hold Clemson in Clemson to 10 points. That's really surprising because for Brian Kelly's tenure, this is his 4th year. His first 3, they haven't had a defense, and even before that, at Orgeron, other than the national title team, which was pretty much Joe Burrow. That national title team's unreal. I mean, to think about, you had probably the best pure passing quarterback in the NFL and the 2 best receivers in the NFL on the same team in college.
Which will give everyone a background on you. I mean, you held every record at your high school until Joe Burrow went in and just took him out, huh?
Correct. Joe Burrow went to Athens High School, where I went for my final 3 years, and he broke I think all my records his junior year. So his senior year was just like piling on. But Joe Burrow, and they threw the ball a ton. Like they were throwing 50 times a game, and he was throwing for insane numbers. This is video game numbers.
Listen, but you know what? When you look at back at high school, not you. I'm saying if you went there and you just kind of saw it, you just see Joe Burrow, Grant Gregory. You know what I mean? 1, 2. Doesn't even matter the stats. Doesn't matter anything. So do you just look at it and go, man, Grant Gregory right up there with Joe Burrow? And I know you're not that type of guy, but
I don't think many people will do that because I think most people will say, "Oh, what happened to this guy?" And they'll know what happened to Joe Burrow. That's
well. I mean, talk about move. Yeah, sorry. I was gonna say something. I'll move on. But LSU. I mean, the SEC is so heavy.
Yeah.
And it always is.
It is.
Who do you see? I mean, because obviously, just like the ACC, there's really no conferences anymore. Who do you see coming out of the SEC?
The divisions? Let's take a look and let's make some judgments after that first week. So, again, they don't have the East-West model, I believe.
No, they do not. I got to pull it up here on the screen.
You still got to take Georgia.
Really?
Alabama
is down a little bit.
They're down, obviously, but
you think it's the coaching? You think because a lot of people are saying now it's the coaching. They look at the players.
It's such an easy thing to say is you never want to follow the legend, but Kalen DeBoer's track record was perfect before this, and I think it also goes to show you there's always a culture change and a shift like that, and how you do things. But what you saw on the field the other day was bad for Bama. It was not Bama football, and last year, they went 9-3, lost the bowl game to Michigan, 9-4. You give kind of a little grace period, but if they lose another, what's Bama's schedule? They probably got a Patsy this week, Louisiana Monroe. Wisconsin's not any good anymore. They got Georgia on the 27th. Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee, and South Carolina, LSU, Oklahoma.
At South Carolina.
They're going to lose 4 of those games. So they'll have
who are you predicting? Because they're going to Georgia.
They're losing at Georgia. They're losing at South Carolina, and they are going to lose.
You think they lose at Auburn?
I think they lose at home against LSU.
Okay. What about Oklahoma?
Oklahoma's a wild card. Oklahoma has, you know about their quarterback?
No.
John Mateer, you can look up his numbers. He was one of the highest ranked quarterbacks in the transfer portal. Washington State. So after Cam Ward at Washington State, John Mateer took over last year, and he's a dual threat. He's a 6'1", 225-pound, really strong runner from Texas. He got out of Texas and went to Washington State. I'm always surprised when I see there's so many good recruits in Texas. He was Washington State's quarterback last year, ran for almost 1,000 and threw for really good numbers. I want to say it was around 25 touchdowns, 5 picks, something like that. And he's at Oklahoma now with his offensive coordinator. 29-7 touchdown interception.
Not bad.
What were his rushing numbers last year?
Let's see. Rushing.
2024. Click on.
I know.
There you go.
2024.
So he rushed for 826 and 15 touchdowns.
Yeah, not bad.
Schedule is not great, but he's a really good player. Oklahoma, this is a big year for Brent Venables. Brent Venables has not been great in his first few years in Oklahoma, so he needs to win this year.
So you're pretty much saying Alabama probably
Alabama
4?
might go. The Alabama's going 8-4 in the regular season, and his buyout's $70 million.
How much?
70.
No, I mean,
If
Nick Saban wanted to come back, I mean, obviously they're probably just getting rid of him. But do you see Nick Saban coming back?
I don't, and I don't see them firing him after 2 years. I see them giving him a third year, almost regardless. I mean, if they were somehow go 4-8, obviously I think they'd fire him. But you're following the greatest coach of all time. It's tough.
Yeah, you are correct. I'm kind of looking at Alabama's.
There's a lot of losses on there.
Because I mean, obviously, I feel like with Alabama, the way they played against Florida State, I could see where
Wisconsin sucks now.
Not Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking down here and you go through the SEC like it is, and you make it even Oklahoma, they win East Illinois.
All those ranked teams look better than Bama week 1.
Exactly, and then you get to Auburn, who's not ranked
at
right
Auburn.
now.
You're going to Jordan-Hare Stadium. That's not.
It's
easy.
the last week. It's the last week. They're not bowl eligible. They just lay it down.
Auburn's going to be bowl eligible this year. Yeah, Bama's going to be bowl eligible.
All I'm saying is that Bama struggles. Let's just hypothetically say they lose to every ranked team they currently have on there, right?
Okay.
Lost to Florida State. That's it. So they lose to Georgia. That's 2. They lose to Tennessee.
They'll be sitting there at 5-6 going into Auburn.
Exactly. Done.
I don't see that.
Then,
but
but if they can't, they're not. I can't see this team getting hyped up.
Fun fact: do you think? You know Louisiana Monroe beat Nick Saban at Bryant-Denny, right?
Is that when? What's his name was there?
What's his name?
Who was the coach at Louisiana Monroe? No, it wasn't him. He was
Charlie Weatherby.
What was that, like 2013?
It was Nick Saban's first year when they went 6-6. They lost at home to Louisiana Monroe.
Interesting.
First year. Nick Saban was taking over a program that was down, but first year they lost to Louisiana Monroe at home.
There's been a lot of. I mean, I saw like Georgia State beat Florida at one point, which was
Georgia Southern.
Harder.
Georgia Southern. Do you know who their quarterback was in that game?
Georgia Southern?
Yeah.
No idea.
Running back for the Vikings for several years. Jerick McKinnon.
Really?
Jerick McKinnon was their quarterback.
Yeah, they ran all over him.
They did. They also ran all over Alabama one year. That's the famous Nick Saban. They ran through us like shit through a tin, like goose shit through a tin can or something. When Georgia Southern, and it was, I think that was Alabama's like 2015 or 2016 team that had one of the best defenses in modern history. Georgia Southern, when they were an FCS school at the time, had the best numbers all year against them.
And now they're just pretty much a run-of-the-mill. See, that's what I liked about college football right there. Right exactly there. You could literally, all these like small schools that could literally compete. And then now it's almost like a tryout when they go in there to like get moved up. They get plucked.
It is interesting. And it makes, I feel bad for a lot of these schools that went out and got these gems of players who everybody else missed out on.
Exactly.
And now all of a sudden at the end of the year, an SEC or a Big Ten just going to take your guy because now he's good. You missed on him.
Yeah.
But that's why I heard that they're – so let's just say Warren Garrison, you're a stud running back, and we sign you at USF, and we get you. We need to have you on whatever deal we have you on that has a buyout clause for, okay, Florida wants to come in and poach you. Okay, they can do that, but they got to pay a buyout to us almost like they do for coaches.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I heard that. It's not my original idea, obviously, but that makes a lot of sense. When you get a guy, if you're a Power 4 or an FCS team, especially FCS, like that's going to help fund your program. But it's one thought.
Is that actually in the background where they might do that?
No, I don't think so.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, all right, let's wrap up college here real quick. We got any big upsets? There's not really for week 2.
This is kind of a that Friday game. James Madison at Louisville. It's a 14.5-point spread against the spread. Louisville's a good team. Louisville's a legit borderline top 25 team playing at home. I still call it Papa John's Stadium, but it's L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium.
At Howard Schnellenberger Field.
That's right. They got the statue of Johnny Unitas over there. We went 0-2 when I was at USF at Louisville. We went 2-0 at home. But James Madison's a good team. James Madison's a legit team, and in the group of 5, they are a legit contender to make the college football playoff.
Really?
So that's in the group of 5. Group of 5, you're the highest ranked group of 5 team. You get in. So that's against the spread. I think that line's going to move. I think a lot of people are going to take JMU. But upset special.
That's 14.5. That's pretty much an upset right there. Realistically,
this is the one
spread.
I have my eye on. UConn at Syracuse. Jim Mora Jr. is the head coach at UConn, and they run the ball really well. Syracuse is not a great defensive team. They lost their quarterback to the draft. They lost their top receiver to the portal. I like UConn to beat Syracuse. 6.5-point underdogs at the Dome. I still call it the Carrier Dome in Syracuse.
Are you saying UConn's back?
UConn's a decent team. They went 9-4 last year. They're independent, but they're a decent team. But there's not the slate of games this week. Iowa State's a good game. The Cy-Hawk Trophy. Iowa State's 2-0. Iowa's 1-0. Can Iowa move the ball again? The smart money generally goes under on Iowa every week. I would take Iowa under until proven otherwise. 41.5 is a really low total, but
Texas Tech is 48.5 over Kansas State.
Don't touch it.
Well, no shit. When you get over 35, at this point in time, I just that popped up because if you look at most of the spreads week 2, Vegas obviously is really good at what they're doing.
Really good.
But
we already got an SEC matchup there. We got Ole Miss and Kentucky. We got an SEC matchup. I think Ole Miss rolls.
I think Michigan and Oklahoma should be a pretty good game.
That's where game day's at. That's a good. All right, so that's the big game this week. Michigan at Oklahoma. We know Michigan's a top-notch defense. They got that young quarterback Bryce Underwood. Is their offense better? They're at Oklahoma, tough place to play. But I like Oklahoma. They need it. They really, really need it. And they're at home. Kansas, Missouri. Their border war is back. Obviously, it's an old Big 12 matchup, and Kansas is a good team. Their quarterback's back healthy after having some health issues last year. And Missouri has won back-to-back 10-win seasons. So Missouri's a good team. Both those teams, I think, are just out of the top 25. But Kansas is 6.5-point underdogs. I take the points with Kansas.
You heard that right there. Shit, I didn't think we went an hour on college football. Well, it is week 1. It's
I only
week 1.
I only got about 10 minutes left, and I got to roll.
Yeah, I know. I listen, but it's week 1. There hasn't been anything really in the NFL, but we had to cover. We had a lot of great information on college football. Obviously coming up in the NFL. We had the Micah Parsons. Really, there was nothing going on besides the Micah Parsons from the Cowboys to the Packers. What do you feel like with Micah Parsons going from the Cowboys to the Packers?
It's very odd. He's an unreal player. He has 53 and a half sacks in 4 years. So he's averaging 13 and a half sacks a year. He's a walking playmaker on defense. He's incredible. He's in the prime of his career. He's only missed, I think, 4 games in his career. I know he has a little back issue right now, but
last year I think he
missed 4
13.
games. I think. Yeah. So he missed 4 games. Those are the first 4 games he missed. But he's one of very few non-quarterbacks in the NFL that when he's out of the game, the point spread changes. T.J. Watt's another one. I think Myles Garrett might be worth a half point or so, but there's very few non-quarterbacks who move the point spread.
So do you put where the Packers, I know Bubba was talking about today, he was saying that the Packers defense is still pretty tight.
They were good before.
But he was saying their safety, they're a little weak on safeties. I believe he said they're a little weak on cornerbacks. But if you have a good front 4, it's going to change the whole dynamic.
I want to say they're a good defense last year. They were a top 10 defense last year, and you had a playmaker like that. That's the best division in football with
What? Not the NFC South?
No, it's not.
Come on, man. The Saints?
I'm a huge Bucks homer. Saints are great.
Panthers?
Panthers are going to be better this year. I don't think the Saints are going to be any good, but the Panthers are going to be better. But the NFC North is good. I mean, it's a really good division.
NFC North. Well, I mean, then you got the NFC East too.
Yeah. And I mean, are we going to have a second-year setback for Jaden Daniels? Or is he going to be as advertised again? They're in the position to be great. They have a quarterback on a rookie deal. They just signed McLaurin. They got Debo.
I feel like everyone always, I think, and I'm the same way. I feel like everyone always wants that sophomore slump.
I mean, you got a year. These defensive coordinators are so good. They have a year of film on you. But the difference is Jaden Daniels runs a 4.35.
Exactly.
So he can avoid a lot of pressure. And I know the Bucs game last year, the first game of the season, he wasn't ready to play quarterback from the pocket, but he still made so many plays with his feet. And he's an awesome player. I don't think anybody expected him to be that good as a rookie, but when you're that fast, which he is that fast, he is thin, he is frail for an NFL quarterback, to be taking shots, but he is an incredible quarterback.
He'll bulk up.
A little bit. He'll get thicker. Like Lamar was thin when he came in. Lamar's pretty thick now.
Oh, yeah. That is true, and his speed has not lacked.
Lamar is better than I ever thought he would be at the NFL level. He's turned into actually a very good passer in addition to what his God-given running abilities are. I thought he was going to be a RG3 when he first came out. You thought
flash of the pants first year, little injury. I thought he was going to have an injury, maybe a year or two, and then he was kind of just fade off into the sunset. Lamar Jackson.
It was just about 2 years ago where any team in the NFL could have had him. Remember that? When they were not going to sign him to the extension.
Yes, and then he was his own agent.
He was his own agent, and he bet on himself, and he won.
And I bet on him to go to Miami. Fish on Jay, $10. I bet on him to. I thought he was going to go to Miami. I thought he was going to go home to Miami.
They got Tua. They got old noodle arm Tua.
Giants will bet Commanders. Giants defense stops Williams. We will see, but let's run it down since you have about 6 minutes time left at this point. We'll just run down. Dallas and Philadelphia. I'm taking Philly. Obviously, it's at home in Philly. Who do you got?
Are we talking about against the spread or straight up?
Yeah, just go straight. Let's just go straight up here.
Straight up Philly. I mean, that's the best roster in football.
Yeah, it's 7.5 point spreads, which is a lot in the first game of the year. But yeah, go Philly. Kansas City it's technically in Brazil against the Chargers. I actually like. I think a lot of distraction around Kansas City, but they're so prepared. But I almost want to go the Chargers. I like Herbert.
I like Herbert a lot, but he hasn't performed in the biggest games. And the playoff, Herbert is a prototype quarterback that hasn't. He needs to win a playoff game this year. He's a really good quarterback. Harbaugh's a really good coach. They had the number 1 ranked defense last year, and Harbaugh's a really good coach. They're going to run the ball well. But I'm taking Kansas City. Mahomes is. They're not as good as they were offensively, and he still wins games because he knows how to manage the game. Mahomes wins.
Write this down. I'm going Chargers.
All right.
Just see what happens. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. I can never pick against the Bucs, so I'm going Tampa Bay. I know Penix is there. Bucs coming off. Baker didn't really do much in the he didn't do anything in the preseason. But I'm going Bucs.
I'm going Bucs. I mean, we can talk about that game more if you'd like, because Atlanta beat us both times last year.
Yeah, they did.
High-scoring games. And
overtime.
You know what I'm going to call? I'm going to make a call. Antoine Winfield creates another turnover, whether it's he's back to his 2023 self. Last year he dealt with those injuries, but 2 years ago he was the best defensive back in football. I want to say he accounted for 10 turnovers, and he got that massive extension. So Winfield makes a game-changing play. Bucs win.
Defensive wins the game for the Bucs. Cincinnati at Cleveland. It's hard with whatever the fuck Cleveland's got going on.
Cincy.
Yeah, I'm going Cincy. I think Joe Burrow comes out. Yeah.
That offense, those receivers. Chase Brown's a good running back. And they got his weapons back around him. Cleveland's kind of a mess, and Cincinnati needs to get off to a good start. They cannot waste these years from Burrow. They've got a generational quarterback, and he could have been the MVP last year, and I think they lost 5 games last year where they scored over 30 points. You can't have that.
No, which has hurt him in before. And Cleveland is a mess. Joe Flacco's an old man. I think he makes about 3 games. I think he makes it 3 games this year before he maybe gets tweaked or.
Well, the thing about these old guys at quarterback, they've seen everything. He'll get rid of the ball. He'll make it longer than that. And then you're going to say we're going to see Dylan Gabriel and then Shedeur by the end of the year too?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
All right, Miami and Indy, who you got?
I'm taking Miami.
I'm taking Miami too. They're a pretty good early in the season team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Indianapolis is just a mess. Also,
Daniel Jones is your quarterback,
Exactly.
and Anthony Richardson's not good.
I think he's going to drop some Danny Dimes, but
Danny Dimes, he had one good year, and he parlayed that into a $80 million run over 2 years.
smart. Las Vegas at New England. I'm going. I like Pete Carroll.
I like both those coaches.
I'm going Vegas.
I'm glad Pete's back. Pete Carroll's. I mean, you've seen the energy on that guy at 70 or whatever his age is. It's awesome. He's running around. He's throwing balls.
I like Vrabel too.
Everyone loves Vrabel. Vrabel's a man.
I just don't think New England's there yet. I think I got Vegas. Arizona at New Orleans.
I'll take Vegas also.
Yeah, New Orleans, whatever. I think Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. I think they come into it.
Arizona wins.
Yeah,
they need this. This is their coach's second or third year. Jonathan Gannon's second year, and Arizona. They need Kyler Murray's a good quarterback. He's got to stay healthy. He's got some better weapons around him. They win.
Pittsburgh at New York.
The revenge game for Rodgers.
Exactly. I think Rodgers comes out for like 350 fucking yards, and Pittsburgh beats the Jets.
Yeah, Pittsburgh wins. The Jets are still a mess.
New York, the Giants are a mess. They're getting a little better a little bit, but you got
Jackson Dart will be the quarterback by week 8.
Oh, there you go.
Redskins win.
Redskins. The Redskins.
They're the Redskins.
Man,
I will never ever. They're the Redskins.
There you go. So we got the Redskins winning.
Do you call them the Cleveland Guardians? No.
No, it's Indians.
Yeah. All right.
New York Carolina Panthers, who are better. Jackson. These are like
Carolina.
three kind of shitty games.
No, I'm going Carolina. So I guess that's the upset. Carolina at Jacksonville is 3.5-point dogs. Carolina wins.
I'm going Trevor Lawrence. Surfer haircut. Deep.
I got the hair like Lawrence. I just didn't have the.
That's right.
I didn't have everything else.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I mean, come on. You had the legs.
Tennessee, Denver.
Oh, Bo Nix, man. Is Cam Ward starting? Yes.
Yeah.
Bo Nix. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go Denver.
Denver.
San Francisco at Seattle. It's hard to go against San Francisco. It seems like they're just always in the game. I'm going San Francisco.
I'm going Seattle. Seattle's the home underdog, and we'll the home underdog.
Who's starter in Seattle?
Sam Darnold. He got a Baker type deal.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm going with my Brock Purdy, my white boy up in San Francisco.
All
so
right. Purdy's good, man. Purdy's good. He has maximized his talent more than any quarterback in the NFL.
He's got a lot of weapons around him. That helps.
He does. They miss out on Debo, and I want to say that Jawan Jennings is iffy, right?
Yes.
Detroit Green Bay is probably the best game. Everybody, that's the best game.
That's a tough one to pick too, especially. But I love going. I gotta pick Detroit. I gotta pick Detroit. There's a lot of hype around Green Bay, which makes me scared.
Green Bay at home.
And see, I'm not sold on Love. I'm not sold on Love. I'm not sold on
either.
offense.
I think he's a solid. He hasn't shown me enough to. But I do like Green Bay at home. Detroit is going to miss Ben Johnson not being their quarterback, their coordinator.
Yeah, but I think there's too much hype right now with Green Bay. I feel like this is the game that it's going to come out. They're going to lose, and they probably roll off 7 straight. But this is the letdown game. Houston at the Rams. I don't even know who the fuck the quarterback's going to be for the Rams. Is it going to be Stafford?
Stafford's going to play. If not, it's going to be Stetson. Yeah, they said Stafford's going to play, but that is he's got a back issue, and Stafford's still a top 10 quarterback when he's healthy. But that's problematic when you got a back issue. Is he going to make it? That's why Stetson got so much play in the preseason, because they know that this is probably going to be an ongoing thing for Stafford.
I'm gonna have to pick Houston then.
I'm taking LA. I don't. One of my clients the other day. I put LA in the Super Bowl. So I got to stick with it.
Well, there you go. Was that with Stafford being quarterback?
Yeah.
Oh well. Good luck with
Baltimore Buffalo.
I love. By the way, I love Kyron Williams. I think Kyron Williams is a hell of a running back.
He is. Was he a 6th round pick?
Yeah. I mean he's a stud.
No, he is. He's another running back that you got to find the right fit at running back, and he is. And he just got a nice extension. I saw. Baltimore
at Buffalo.
The last 2 MVPs, and Lamar could have had back-to-back MVPs, but at Buffalo,
man, it's good for Baltimore to get that Buffalo game out of the way early.
I got Lamar. I
got Josh Allen.
All right,
white boy wins. Minnesota at Chicago. Caleb Williams against who's Minnesota's
Kevin
quarterback?
O'Connell.
Yeah,
Kevin O'Connell's the coach. I mean,
yeah, but who's the quarterback?
JJ McCarthy. First stat. Yeah. I'm going with Caleb Williams.
I'm going Caleb Williams too. I think Chicago has a lot of improvements, and I think they take it.
All right,
good for a show.
Hope the viewers enjoyed it.
You brought a lot of great facts, and we did cover a lot of college football. But listen, there was really nothing going on in the NFL. And might as well break down week 1 in college football. So thank you everyone for listening. Grant, thank you.
Thanks for having me. Look forward to next week.
Hopefully next week we'll be back here right here Tuesday, 1 o'clock. Thank you everyone for listening. In the meantime, go to Bubba Army Store, Bubba Army Shop, BubbaArmyMerch.com. And we'll be here next Tuesday, 1 o'clock. If anything else, we'll let you know if there's a time change. But we are live tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. right here at the Bubba Army. See ya.